are far worse things waiting man than death.
You will be scared shitless.
Hello, everyone. This is S. Michael Sims, and joining me, as always, is
Erin Dawn and
Slink.
Mr. Slinky Jello himself. Yes, and we are the Scared Shitless podcast. We are currently in episode 2 of season 2. I just finished uploading rather, episode 1, which we did last Sunday, called, what did we do? Damn it. Oh, Wes Craven Presents Nate. Duh. My favorite.
we did they. Yeah.
So it was a blast to get the team together again after a 2-year hiatus. So we are currently in season 2, and tonight's episode is the, I would say, timeless classic remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978, starring Donald Sutherland, a cute brunette whose name I can't remember.
That's Brooke Adams.
Brooke Adams, okay. Leonard Nimoy, and one of my all-time favorite character actors. He's really an A-list actor at this point. Jeff Goldblum, as well as Veronica Cartwright, who was fantastic in Alien. So,
and if you are a Canadian fan, as I am, you will recognize Art Hindle from Black Christmas, and he is the
husband, right?
The husband, yeah. Jeffrey.
Yeah, poor Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
He did a great job too. He was so sinister once he got taken over by the pod people. But so we should talk a little bit about the fact that this was originally a novel.
Yeah, and have you read the novel?
I have not. Have you?
No. In fact, when I found out that it was a novel today, I was really intrigued, and I really wanted to either read it or go and do a deep dive on it, because a lot of these books or these movies that came out at a certain time were sort of this veiled way of dealing with things like anti-Semitism or homophobia or politics,
communism, Red Scare.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was thinking, I'm like, wow, there must have been something going on, right? But I didn't have a chance to do that today, so.
No worries. It's going on the short list for me for sure. I've got a bunch of horror to catch up on. Been wanting to dive into some Robert Bloch and Shirley Jackson and like some of the proto Stephen King influences of his. And this was on his list. But yeah, so originally was a novel that did very well and kind of entered the public consciousness around that time. And then in the 60s, I think it was early 60s, might have been mid 60s. It was early 60s. They did a film version of the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers with the guy who plays the crazy uncle in Twilight Zone, the movie. I can't remember his name, but he's got gray hair.
Kevin McCarthy.
Okay. Yes. Love that guy.
He's talking about the movies. Oh, wait, my experience with the old one.
Oh,
The one I saw. I've never seen this one till today.
this was his first time watching the remake, and
Okay.
he's a huge fan of the Kevin McCarthy black and white one.
Okay, so you must have loved the scene where he runs up to their car and he's like, "You're next, you're next."
Makes me think of Piranha, how he's like unreasonable in Piranha, like he's the mad scientist, and he's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
no, you released
Great
the fish."
character
Blah, blah,
actor
blah.
for
It's similar
sure.
to that.
Yeah.
But I grew up with the one from the '60s, so it was cool seeing him run out.
Yeah, and I haven't watched it recently. I'd say it's probably been about 10 years since I watched the original, but I do love it. I mean, it's got all of the same kind of dread and paranoia feel to it, but I don't know, the 78 version still got to be my favorite. There are other versions out there. There's one with Meg Tilly, I think, that came out later.
Yeah, there is. And then there's one just
Kidman.
called Invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which,
There's just Body Snatchers,
Mhm.
and then they did a TV series. Haven't watched those movies in a long time. Couldn't tell you a thing about them other than I didn't hate them, but still don't feel they held a candle to the 78 version. You've just got such amazing talent here with the actors, and the soundtrack and the direction. Really solid players in this. Donald Sutherland, stole the show. He's funny. He's scared when he needs to be, but manly and protective when he needs to be. He did such an amazing job. In fact, when somebody says Donald Sutherland to me, this is the character, this is the movie that I think of. It
And
just
I always think of Don't
so
Look Now, or
okay.
or MASH. I think of MASH actually more.
Right. And then
But
the younger generation would recognize him as President Snow from the Hunger Games, which was, I think, one of his
unfortunately,
last
yes,
roles.
that's a
Yeah.
thing.
But yeah, amazing actor. And so I guess let's do what we usually do and kind of go through it chronologically. So it starts off right with this amazing soundtrack, and these creepy kind of jelly looking things floating through space. And then they come to Earth through the rain and they land on the plants, and the little creepy flowers start growing on the plants. And you kind of know what's going on just based on the title of the movie and, the movie poster, right? You kind of would have known, okay, this is it. This is the invasion. The aliens have arrived in the form of creepy fucking plants.
Well, you see the tendrils come down on the poster. The poster is visually striking because it's a bunch of silhouettes running, and where their feet touch the ground are roots coming down. So
Yes.
that's a striking image. And if you pay close attention when the movie starts, you can tell it's like in the 40s or 50s, the temperature. So why is there a flower blooming? And
Right.
it never comes into, nobody ever says, oh, hey, so, yeah, that's something I picked up right away.
No, and one of the first characters we meet is what's her name again?
Brooke Adams.
Brooke Adams. But the character's name was Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's married to Jeffrey. And she works with Donald Sutherland, and
In
she
the EPA or
is a
yeah,
big
Respect the power of the health inspector.
yes, is a
health
big
department.
is
Yes.
a big is a big plant person,
Yep.
is into the botany, if you will. And their San Franciscan apartment is filled with different types of plants inside and outside. So, she sees this little flower and she plucks it and she runs into the apartment, and Art Hindle is of course got his little, cans on, listening to
Yes.
whoever's playing the Knicks maybe. And she's like, oh, this flower, oh my gosh, I've never seen it, but it's cross-pollinated, and and
Hybrid.
it's a hybrid. She opens up the book and she's
Could
so
be
excited
dangerous.
about
Yeah, the book says it could be a dangerous species because of
Right.
its style of rooting or whatever,
Mhm.
which is kind of our first clue that, hey, something creepy is up with this fucking plant. It's an
Like the
alien
mist.
plant. And to add to all of that is this kind of subdued soundtrack, that's very dissonant but understated. It doesn't go over the top at all. It just kind of helps build the tension of, okay, there's some strange shit going on here.
It's subtle.
And then, of course, not too long after, he wakes up the next morning after she puts this fucking plant in a glass of water next to his bed or on his bedstand, and he's cleaning up a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's in a full suit,
Mhm.
and he's not even acknowledging her existence. He just walks, moves, picks up thing, walks, picks up thing, and she's like, Jeffrey,
What's wrong,
Jeffrey.
baby? Yeah.
Yeah,
She
Relax, the
immediately knows
Niners are
something's up.
playing.
yes. She keeps trying to get his attention, and he is very much laser focused on
On a
the
mission.
trash.
Part of this mission, we find, is he goes into the yard or out front or whatever and meets up with the dumpster guy, the dump truck or garbage truck, I should say. And he puts a strange package into the back of the garbage truck. And you
Mhm.
see that there are hundreds of other strange packages in this garbage truck. And there's like a puff of ash, coming off of it when he throws it in there. And he gives a knowing glance to the truck driver. And that is our introduction to the first body that has been snatched in this film. We can kind of deduce from all of the context clues that Jeffrey is no longer Jeffrey. So
Absolutely. And then she gets and then Donald Sutherland is off to his job at the French restaurant
which I
as
freaking
the
love. I can't tell you how many times I've quoted his, if it's a kipper, then eat it. Caper. Yeah. It's a caper. It's a rat turd.
It's a rat turd. Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, so when we were watching this scene, Slink brought up the fact that like health department that they either make or break you, right?
They will shut your shit down quick.
Right, because you were a chef, right?
Yeah, I have seen a lot of shady dealings happen in kitchens and handshakes with money take place over the grade of the kitchen. You know what I mean? If it doesn't say A in there, a lot of people won't come to your restaurant, man. So when they throw the bottle at his car in the alley, that's real shit. Like that's very true. I have seen health inspectors get beat up in alleys. So that's a thing. So that was cool. Plus a couple of the cooks didn't have the right toques on, but that was me. Those are bakers. Why are they on the line?
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. But yeah, it's interesting to see that in that French restaurant and everything like that. So,
But that's why I said fear the power and raw the power of the health inspector, because that guy's attitude changes completely in the span of a second. So it's very funny.
When he figures out who Donald Sutherland is, he's just like, oh no.
It's like, oh, okay.
You're gonna ruin my restaurant.
Yeah. Yep.
So she confides in him after we find out what he does for a living and that they work together, that they're colleagues. She confides in him. They have a wonderful relationship, friendly relationship. You could tell he's got the hots for her, though. He's like, "Oh, ditch the zero and give it the hero."
Yeah, they really like each other.
Totally down to fuck.
Like when she's on the phone with him, she's very giggly and she's like, I'm not coming in at 7 a.m. I don't know what you mean. You know, it's very flirtatious.
Right.
You know?
You and I were.
But
that's how we were.
She feels safe in confiding in him that something is off with Jeffrey. And she has followed him apparently around to see what he's been up to, and he's doing strange shit like meeting with supposed clients who she's never seen before and gone off to a strange business meeting. And
yeah, because he's a dentist. Like the chances of you going and meeting your dentist in a field somewhere where you're exchanging packages is real fucking slim. Now you might meet your lawyer in a dark alleyway somewhere, maybe your accountant, for instance, but Jeffrey's DDS, like
full contact DDS.
He's got that new Oral B. He's sneaking me a copy of.
Right.
No, that's not a thing.
No, I can understand her concern because it does look weird. And then yes, it's all people she's never seen before.
Plus, whenever there's an interaction with the DDS and any of the people he's talking to, whatever handoff happens, it's funny, it's almost comical. They stop and look at each other and go before they walk away.
So it's kind of like,
oh, okay, nefarious business is being concocted.
Right.
Like it's really
you can just hear the director, you're not that nefarious.
Yeah, like they always stop and look at each other and they're like, yes. And then they walk away and I'm like, that's great. I'm like, that's really funny.
Oh yeah, all of the extras in this film were fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, just the kind of dead eyes, but the knowing looks that they give each other throughout the film. And that's something that she brings up to Matthew is I've noticed just the city is different and people are looking at each other strangely. And, you know, I just felt like I was in another world, you know, and so of course him being a good friend and he's concerned for her. And it is kind of screwed up that her husband's off doing this weird shit, decides to put her in touch with a successful, famous psychologist, played by
a famous psychologist.
Leonard fucking Nimoy.
Yeah.
Who was perfect for this role because I mean that's
Absolutely.
Spock was all no nonsense, right? He was all very sort of logical and straightforward. And so there were times where I was like, is he a pod person or is he just fucking
he's just a dick.
Psychologist Spock, you know?
Yeah. And anytime he opened his mouth, I was ready to go look for the Loch Ness Monster with him. Like because of that show, man. I was raised on that show. So anytime he's like, oh,
in search of, yes, I love
yeah, I'm like, in search of, let's go find that dinosaur, Leonard. Like, so
that show friggin' traumatized me. They did a In Search of the Great White Shark episode.
Ooh.
And somebody got their friggin' leg bit off and they pulled them onto the deck and there's blood everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Damn.
Is this on network TV? Holy crap.
I want to see that.
I've seen that episode.
And yes, in search of the whatever Bigfoot, oh, what a great friggin' show.
But I do love how he gets her into this like book party basically.
Yeah.
And there are all these people and when I was a kid and I would see movies from the 70s, this was like a trope, right? This like party lifestyle where there's a room and it is just elbow to elbow with people and people are walking around with like canapes and...
Might be a bowl of keys somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought when I grow up, that's what parties will be like, and it's not at all like that. So it's just, but yeah, when she gets in there and she sees that Leonard Nimoy is giving marital counseling to this poor woman who is just, my husband isn't who my husband is and he's different and da 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 da, and her husband is just like, repeating her name. Like that's all he does is just repeats her name and looks at her all weird, like.
And she keeps trying to butt in, like, and this happened, right? And he's like, "Would you shut up? I'm trying to work with this lady here. Who the hell are you?"
And then he makes them hold hands.
Yeah, he really dumbs her down in that scene because everybody is just kind of standing looking at her. And I was watching that scene waiting for somebody to intervene, and it never happened. And I kept saying to myself, "Oh yeah, it's 70s. It's the 70s. It's the 70s."
It's absolutely a thing. Like
Just keep your head down and keep walking.
Emotional upheaval and gaslighting was completely fine.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Mansplaining. But I was a little surprised that the subject of the psychological condition in which you believe that your loved ones have all been replaced by duplicates didn't come up. That is an actual thing.
Yes.
And how fucking scary would that be to have to live with that? Like you think that the people you love are doppelgangers,
Well, it's interesting. Like watching this movie in the context of how we're at, in the political landscape. We'll just leave it at that. I, having dated someone and watching them go further and further and further and further into the red pill territory, it's very relatable. Just watching this is like that waking up one morning and going, "You do what now?" And trying to, and then there's this feeling in this movie of isolation. Like the movie is populated, like the streets are populated, you see people and stuff like that, but the film has a very deserted feel. It has a very uncomfortable.
Well, we meet the owner of the Chinese laundry when Sutherland goes in to get his suit clean. And he's like, "My wife, she not right.
My wife,
she's not my wife.
She not right. She not right." And he's like,
And it's going around. And what's the guy's name? Kibner. Dr. Kibner says, "Yeah, this is the sixth person this week who's had this issue that they brought up, So that
crazy
shit's
brain
going down."
fog.
Yeah, he's like, it's a crazy brain fog. It only lasts
mass hallucination.
24 to 48 hours, like a flu.
Come on. Yeah, it's very the self-talking down of the people in this movie is epic. Like,
yeah, you
they'll
can't
say
help
something
but hate
out
that
loud.
character.
Yeah. I even said to her, I said, "Did you hear what she said?" I said, "Did you say that out loud?" I says, "Ah," and nothing. Just like,
yeah, and it felt weird to me to kind of hate Spock, but yeah, I definitely hated the Kibner character. And he was being mean to Jeff Goldblum.
He was a dick to Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff freaking Goldblum.
He's like, "Over there's some woman who wants to listen about your book. Goodbye."
Oh man.
So speaking of Mr. Goldblum, so young in this, that was Christine pointed that out. Like, oh my God, he looks so friggin' young. Like he was all skin and bones,
Skin and bones. He looks really, really, really thin in this. Yeah.
What, 8 years before The Fly?
Yeah.
So yeah, he looks like a fucking teenager in this movie.
He's gangly.
Yeah.
So we can talk about Goldblum's character for a minute and his wife, played by Veronica Cartwright, who apparently owns some kind of spa, right? Where they have these mud baths.
Yeah, she owns. It's so, like, if you read the signs on the wall and stuff, it's like, mud bath included with da 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 da.
About our mud pack butt crack therapy.
Yeah, it's just.
What?
I've never seen like a bathhouse like that, but
I've seen some bathhouses, but never, and in the San Francisco area, might I add. But yeah, the type of bathhouse that they are running is a very like natural, like
Right.
mud baths and massages, but not
And you
the
see
kind
her
of
giving a
massage.
massage to this obese man. And
Oh
it's like,
God, that guy!
what a
Oy.
living.
That's who owns the boat.
You missed a
Like-
spot, Chica. You know?
Yeah, no, that guy is so gross, man. So gross.
It's like, how'd Burt Young get in this?
Yeah.
It's gross.
But that's where we see our first like fully formed, or not quite fully formed, pod person.
Yep.
And it looks like Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. And when now Slink pointed this out to me because I didn't notice it, but when the pod person's eyes are closed and Jeff Goldblum's eyes are open, if Jeff Goldblum's eyes are closed, then the pod person's eyes are open. They can't mimic the same thing at the same time.
Same thing at the same time, because the pod person's nose was bleeding when Goldblum's wasn't. And so when he was laying there, his eyes open when Goldblum was actually laying. And same thing with Donald Sutherland. When his eyes opened, his real eyes shut. And I was like, oh, okay. I see what you
Good
did there.
attention to detail. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
But so they find this body and they try to get a hold of the others, you know, Kibner and Matthew and Elizabeth. And hey, we found this body, and Kibner comes to check it out. And we get like a weird scene where like he shows up mysteriously at the bathhouse to kind of, I guess, almost let you know he could possibly be one of the pod people. But you don't know for sure yet. They kind of throw it out there as a possibility. You get the creepy music. But Belichick comes in to check it out. And the body is gone. It's missing.
Yeah, and Leonard Nimoy is like, somebody's trying to play a trick on you. And Jeff Goldblum's like, no, I'm not. Like, I got to give Nancy Cartwright, nope, wrong. Veronica Cartwright, wrong person completely. Speaking of aliens, I've got to give Veronica Cartwright her character, a lot of credit in this movie, because she is like Team Goldblum, man. Like, she is very much like, no, there's something going on here. I support my husband. Whatever he says, he saw it. I saw it. You don't understand. She's ride or die.
Ride or die for him, man. She's all about the Brundlefly.
And she's with him when he kind of gets up close to it and his nose is bleeding and he's checking it out and the freaking hairs on it trying to grab him, you know. It's like, oh my God.
They did that, man. The little hair like follicles fucking moving around and stuff. That's really cool. Like, that's really cool how they did that.
Now, question, Sims, did you look and see like who did the special effects for this? Because I didn't get a chance to do that. So I don't know if it's like an old school, like if it's like a Bottin, or if it's any of the people that we know, or if this was this Dan Winston back in the day? Like, what? I don't know anything about who did because the special effects are pretty badass.
They're really good, and they're really done well. And I'm sitting here wondering, I'm like, you watch, they probably used like fucking milk in a jar or something and did it.
Something real
Some kind of crazy stuff like that.
basic. Yeah.
It's insane, but they were like, we just blew cotton across the table. Wow.
Yeah. Or we covered someone in cotton.
We covered someone in cotton and pulled it off real slow and then played it backwards.
Yeah.
That's probably how they did that shit.
It's cotton candy.
It's cool.
So, according to Google, the special makeup effects were done by a team led by Tom Berman and Edward Henrique. The special effects team included Russell Hesse and Del Rayom.
Nope.
So just a quick search on IMDb. And I'll edit this shit out.
We'll fix it.
Well, that goes for one of us on the podcast, because I always leave in my wait, who's he? I'm gonna look him up right now.
I don't want the cast. I want the makeup department, because I recognize Thomas R. Berman from
The name
other
sounds
shit.
familiar.
Yeah.
He's
you know,
still
it's like
working as recently as Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Did the effects for the Body Snatchers remake in '93.
That's what it was.
93.
I knew it came out. I always liked the poster for that one too.
It's all mainstream shit like Scrooged, Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf was
So he's like highbrow special effects, right?
Yeah.
We did the Hunger Games, haughty taughty, like
Yeah,
Right.
he's like He's like, oh God, Teen
Halloween
Wolf? That makes
3
sense.
for crying out loud. So yeah.
Oh, we
there's the
did
historic
Halloween
connection.
3. Okay, that's interesting.
person who knows their business. Yes.
Okay. Mad respects.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, man, that movie scared the fuck out of. We got to do that one sometime. That's a definitely
Another
underrated.
show next next week.
We can do it.
So,
I love that movie.
we
wanna
watched
do it next week?
I love Halloween 3.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Fuck them
Okay,
kids.
well, our special Halloween episode, yeah. Although Halloween is next Friday, but we can wait till Sunday.
Halloween.
Let's do Halloween 3 next week.
Halloween is all year round.
It's all year round.
Really.
Amen.
Okay. All right.
Where were we? So
They're leaving the bathhouse.
they kind of figure out what's going on, right? They piece everything together. So the pods, take over the people, and then the people dispose of the bodies, or the doppelgangers dispose of the bodies.
And at what point? Okay, so then there is a point where Donald Sutherland breaks into Brooke Adams's house and finds she's sleeping, but then he finds her doppelganger in the garden, basically.
Yes.
Nippleless,
Right,
nippleless,
no nips.
Like a Barbie doll.
like a Barbie doll, just
Like she
covered
hasn't,
in
she got the
cotton candy.
operation and hasn't had the nipples tattooed on yet.
That's it. Yes, she has not had the nipples tattooed on. So he's looking at that. Then he goes upstairs. Then he carries her.
Rescues her, yes.
Rescues
and so
her
to me,
out.
the best part of all that was the scream that her husband or doppelganger does after he finds out. That's the first time
Creepy.
you hear the alien scream from a pod person.
And Slink pointed out something really interesting, which is that.
Oh, because I had never seen it before, so when we were watching it, we were pretty early into the flick, and I said to Erin, I wonder if they have a hive mentality, and
And then I said,
she was like, "What do you mean?"
"Qu'est-ce que c'est?"
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, and like a hive meant like a bee hive. When something happens, all the bees are on the same frequency, and they go into protect the queen mode, and stuff like that." So I was like, "Okay, I wonder if one of them sees something." They don't have to get on the radio and message each other. They just have to think it, and then it spreads out through the whole colony, if you will. And then come to find out later on, yeah, they do have a hive mentality, because that chick sees whatever, screams out, and then all of a sudden they all know where to run. And then you guys are talking about the scene where he breaks into her place. When the cops are there and they tell her husband, what's his name? The guy... Yeah, Jeffrey, the guy who fashioned the coat in Black Christmas. When they tell him, they're telling him what's going on, and Donald Sutherland tells him flat out, "I'm not bringing your wife back. We're going to pack a bag, and she's coming with me." No reaction whatsoever from him, and that's what jumped at me. I was like, "You got to tie me fucking down if some dude's telling me he's not bringing my wife home."
Thank you.
So yeah. So that was really interesting to me when that part happened. I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, okay." That'd be
because the pod people apparently don't give a shit about shit except for spreading their gospel. So
at the end, he's like, "We don't love, we don't fear." Leonard Nimoy's exposition fairy, and he's like, "We don't love," when he's
no emotion, no
so,
fear.
So that's the trick. If you tell one of the pod people something that is heartfelt, and they don't react, that's how you know you got a pod person, but it's too late. So.
And it works the other way around too, because if they see you showing emotion,
that's how they tell.
They know that you're not one of them.
You're not a pod person, right?
Yeah.
And so Veronica Cartwright's character, Nancy, figures that out, and they're walking around trying not to show emotion, but they all get separated. Then you find out that Dr. Kibner is in fact a pod person. He does
totally a fucking pod person.
Makes a lot of sense.
And my favorite moment there is when Matthew says, "You're killing me." It was so like pathetic and frightening, like, "You're killing me, you're my friend and you're killing me."
Yeah, the acting in this movie is really, really, really good. There's so many great 70s films that have this higher caliber of acting, really. It's
again, to keep in the theme, it ends on a down note. All 70s
so 70s, you know what I mean? Like this is a dystopian.
Right. Well, so before we get there, they run into a character that has been a minor character that has been featured throughout the film. It's this homeless guy and his dog.
Oh, I love this stage.
And this is probably the most iconic scene in the film. They showed it in Terror in the Aisles when they kind of mentioned this movie.
I've never seen the movie till today, but I had seen that scene 500 times.
Yeah.
Right, because it's a GIF.
Yeah, it's a GIF.
It's a GIF. It's like, what did you see today? Well,
so basically what happens is this hobo is sleeping with his dog, and the pod as Matthew and Elizabeth run by this guy who they've seen 100 times throughout the movie, they step on the pod and crush it so that the guy doesn't get, taken over by the pod people. Well, something goes wrong and the pod kind of half works. I guess it mixed the dog's pod with the human's pod. And so towards the end of the film, as they're running away from the pod people, they come across the outcome of this pod malfunction, and it's this little dog with a hobo's face on it.
And I guess apparently I read this online that I guess the dog is actually wearing a mask, a mask of the actor, and that it was an improv on the dog's part to lick its face. It stick its tongue out through the mask. So when they saw it in editing, they're like, "That's genius!" Like they really, that's fucking
accident.
gold. You know what I
Making
mean?
a meme-worthy moment for eternity.
Absolutely.
For eternity.
I wonder if fucking Freddy 2 took that idea from this movie. I often wonder.
Because
Rottweilers.
in Freddy, yes,
Freddy
because
2.
in Nightmare on Elm Street 2,
Same thing.
when they're in that warehouse,
The
boiler room, when they're in the boiler room, there are those two demon dogs, which are like were they Rottweilers?
They're chubby Rottweilers.
Chubby Rottweilers,
But
and
they're
then they
masks
put
on.
human masks on them, which makes it look really creepy. So
creepy, nightmare fuel.
yeah, absolutely.
No doubt they were influenced by that. I love when horror movies kind of borrow from each other. The probably most famous one that we've covered was Friday 2, the Bay of Blood scene with
Just
the
had that
spear.
on today. That's funny. Just had that on today.
Watching that.
But so they escape to the docks to try and flee, and they're trying to stay awake so that they don't become pod people, but god damn it, they're human beings. And sadly, they fall asleep. And when Matthew wakes up, he goes to embrace his woman, and she crumbles to dust in his arms. Oh my
Just
god.
like it's it's funny, like we talk about how with Dreamscape, we talked about how Dreamscape is an 80s PG, right? And this film has that 70s PG, right? Where you're just like, there's no fucking way this isn't an R. There's just
You get almost
violent.
full frontal nudity. Yeah, you get the boobies.
Yeah, you get full frontal nudity. There's boobies, and then and then there's like crushing slime and blood.
Yeah,
and
I forgot to mention the scene where he finds his own pod person, and
right,
he's so
and then he
disgusted
kicks it
with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and smashes it with an axe. It's like, ew.
Plus,
Very
there's a really
effects.
there's a really pretty version of Amazing Grace played on bagpipes when he gets to the docks. Really pretty.
Yeah, and that drums up so
version.
much emotion because he just lost his girlfriend, his impromptu girlfriend. She was married, but they had, formed this bond of survival bond together, and he loves her as a friend at least. And she's dead all of a sudden. Only now she's not only dead, it's a fate worse than death. She's this pod person now, naked, and comes after him naked, which, yeah, she's got a
Right.
nice pair. Let's not lie. But yeah, so he escapes her, gets into the warehouse where they're processing all these pods for shipment, does his best to destroy as many as he can. And then we enter the grand finale, the probably second most iconic scene from the film, if not the most iconic, the very end,
Absolutely.
where Veronica Cartwright, her character, sees him and is so excited that Matthew, it's me. And he turns around and sees her. And then, yeah, turns out Matthew didn't make it, guys. Spoilers,
crazy.
kids.
I will say there's a scene I wanted to talk about it, but we were talking about something else. There's a scene in the movie where they show them trying to get away from the other pod people, and they only show their feet. And it's really fucking cool how they walk, they turn around, they come back, they turn around again, come back, and then you just see the legs pursuing them, but they never show their faces or anything. But the whole scene, the whole sequence is done just by showing their legs. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Amazing
how they
attention to detail from this director, and it kind of captures that hive mind mentality that you were talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matthew didn't make it, and we don't get to see what happens after the fact, but I'm pretty sure that that she's toast and that the pod people take over the world. Downbeat ending, my favorite kind of horror movie ending.
Yes.
Dark as fuck.
Yeah.
So guys, let's do the impossible task of rating this movie. 1978, you know, 70s were a great time for horror. Compared to other films from the era, I'd say it's top tier, A tier at least, if not S tier. I'm going to give this movie 4 stars out of 5. The pacing slows down a little bit in spots, gets a little talky in parts.
Very 70s.
Yeah,
which is
that's
that's
70s.
a 70s thing that happens, unfortunately. And it doesn't really matter what 70s movie it is. It could be Don't Look Now, it could be MASH, it could be this one.
Jaws,
it's the same shit.
There's always the slowdown, We want capital realism. Okay, fine.
Clunky.
It's clunky.
It's clunky. I will echo your sentiment, and I will definitely say that this is 4 stars for me. I love this movie. This is one of those, I'm not really feeling well, I'm gonna lay on the couch and watch this and just sick day movie. It's a flu movie. And you just kind of enjoy it, and it's very like overcast, it's not a very sunny movie. And it's just, like I said, man, more and more people I turn around and I'm like, pod, and the sort of metaphor that I took away from it is like, well, when you fall asleep, that's when you give up, right? Because you're asleep, you're not paying attention to what's going on, right? And then when you're awake, then you're seeing things. You're
asleep
actually,
and the world is changing around you, changing the very people you love into something else.
Yeah.
What's more horrifying than realizing that everything you thought you knew was wrong? It's cosmic horror. It's deep psychological horror.
It's very uncomfortable and disturbing, but then also very timely as well. So I love it. 4 stars.
Slink?
Let's see. Yeah, I just saw this for the first time today. I will give it 4 out of 5 human-headed dogs. Straight up, it's a great movie. I love the whole idea that there's an alien species cruising the cosmos looking for a planet to take over, with the planet's natural inhabitants being the host, is fascinating to me. The paranoia in the story is like so freaking good, because we talked about this last week with the kids in the restaurant. He's experiencing all this stuff, and no matter what he says, no matter how dumb it down he does, he can't tell anybody because they don't believe him. They think he's crazy. Same goes for this.
She says words early on in the movie, like, I know this is going to sound insane.
Yeah. And so just the fact that, you can't tell someone, or knowing that you can't really properly explain this to the normies without them thinking you're a total nut, is fascinating. I love the bleakness of the end. The soundtrack's really good because it's subtle, but it's enough to just let you know it's there. It's not like the music isn't telling you when to jump, stuff like that. I like that.
So much tension from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like highbrow horror. That's what I call it. Highbrow horror. This is like no horror movie won an Academy Award and then Silence of the Lambs came along. This is like a Silence of the Lambs type movie. It's
for
just
the
like,
70s.
It's really good stuff. It's a great movie, man. I like the acting's solid. Everybody plays their parts like to a T. So no, there's no one's chewing the scenery.
That's the other thing, is that no one is chewing the scenery. No one is out of place.
Even Goldblum, he walks that fine line, man. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah. Very subtle, very understated.
They've all got mad chops. Yeah, I agree.
And just calm. There's a very calming, about their portrayal, so.
And the end is amazing, because I think at the end of the day, that French chef got his revenge on Donald Sutherland about the rat turd.
It's a rat turd.
It's a rat. It's a caper. It's a caper.
Nope, it's a caper.
Why don't you eat it?
Nope, it's a rat turd.
So good. So yeah, he had the last laugh, man. He had the last laugh.
Oh,
exactly. Twirling his mustache. Yeah.
Ha.
So,
all right, which leads into my favorite segment of the show, for which the podcast is named the Scared Shit List.
You will be scared shitless.
Oh.
This is the part on the show where we talk about what in the movie actually scared us, or may have scared us had we been watching it by ourselves in the dark, alone at night. And I would have to say the scariest moment for me was very psychological. despite all the fantastic gore effects. And that would be when Donald Sutherland is on the phone with the operator trying to reach more authorities to let them know
Knew
what's
his
going
name.
on. And she
Right,
says,
and she knew
"Mr.
his name.
Grinnell,"
She knew his
and he
name.
says,
Yeah,
"I didn't tell you my name."
Knew my name.
Oh, that's give me the willies every time.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
number
good.
one for me.
Uh-huh.
I think my number one is honestly when Nimoy is playing, marriage counselor to this couple, and that she's going home to die,
Yeah.
essentially. Like, right? Like, because her
Yeah.
husband is just like, I don't remember her name, but like, let's just throw a name out there. And he's like, Mary, Mary, come with me. And he just kind of like takes her arm, and even Brooke Adams knows, it's just like
She's doomed,
she's
yeah.
done, she's gonna die.
Yeah, well, and you find out, right, that she had seen him earlier in the day with her husband
Right.
passing packages and shit.
In
So
the
you know
weird
he's a pod
package,
person.
Yeah.
my pot or yours.
The
Hey,
dubious package, whatever.
whatever that was.
Yeah.
Now yours.
Okay, there's two. I have two things in this movie that scared me to fucking death. One, when Kevin McCarthy jumps out of the car, he's like, you're next, you're ah, and runs off. Donald Sutherland says to her in the car, it's okay, the cops will help him.
Right.
Or the police will help him. And then in the next fucking scene, you see the car go by and he's dead on the ground. And I remember I said that to Erin. I said, police helped him, didn't they? And at the end, where he sees what's her face got sucked dry when he knows she's dead, when he knows Liz is dead, that's the scariest moment for me, because now he's fucking alone. He doesn't have anybody. So then you're like, okay, you're not too far from the end of the voyage. But
yeah, it kind of brings the bleakness.
But when he
home.
says don't worry, the police will help him. And then he's
Yeah.
dead on the ground because his head's busted open, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
And no one's screaming either. People are
There's
just
no commotion.
No.
There's no
they're all just kind of
nothing
looking
to
at
see.
each other and looking at the body and looking
Yeah.
at each other.
Yeah.
people are just standing around observing it.
Yeah. Nobody's like, listen, I grew up in the hood, man. So when that shit happens, everybody's outside watching, looking, what the hell? So yeah.
Yeah, that scene
that's
really
terrifying.
kind of brings it home. Yeah, that's when shit starts to get real. Yep. And I
That's
love
why
that
it's
it would
scary, 'cause-
feature the original actor from the original movie.
Yeah, no, because I'll watch him in anything. I'll watch him make a ham sandwich. But like, it was cool because it showed that horror. Again, I've said this before. It's not in a castle in fucking Transylvania. That's next door. That's on the next block. And then at the end, where the all the authorities show up and you see the people filing out. That's terrifying, man. That's terrifying. So, very, very.
And it's happening to us
and it's
every
happening
day, all
Right.
over the world.
Fucking now.
Exactly. So it's on point. The movie is very on point.
Watch this fucking movie if you want a reality check. That's where we're at, folks. Not gonna get too political, but I'll just kind
Right.
of leave it there. The shit is real. So
And
we
it's
live with pod
interesting.
people.
Yeah, but it's interesting that it starts with a pretty flower, right? Like how social
Satan
media
comes as an angel of light.
Right. How like social media is designed after slot machines. Right. So it's colors and spinning and moving and the dopamine hits, right? So it's like thinking it's so funny because it's so 70s. It's like, oh, like a pretty flower.
That thing, that quote from World War II, where they said all the worst ideas in the history of man have always started with the best of intentions. So it's like, yeah, there you go. Here's your pretty flower. Look over here. Look over here. I'm going to stab you over here.
Look, this is a way for you to keep in touch with your family.
Yeah.
And she invites it into the home. She puts it in a little
Right.
glass
She
and
brings
sets
it
on the
into the
nightstand.
home.
So, and how unassuming. Who doesn't like flowers and stuff, man? My mom, the house was covered in plants when I was a kid. So I'd have been a pod person that afternoon, man. It would have stuck, Like, so yeah, absolutely.
I will kill a cactus. So I have no problem with not having plants in my house.
You got a black thumb, do you?
I would be the worst person for that. But that being said, I like pretty, shiny, fun things, right? And it wouldn't take that much, to be like, oh, look at this. Like how cults get people.
Hey, man, let's watch some true crime right now on TV. like the normal people do. Over. She'd be a pod person. She'd be done.
Actually, I'll be honest with you.
Fine? Yeah.
No.
Oh, Bichon.
This is how I die, by the way. This is like, I've already figured this out. Is that somebody creates a page on Instagram that's nothing but Bichon Frise dogs, right? And they say, oh, we're going to have a Bichon Fest right here in Florida. And I go, oh my God, that's
Murphy, good dog.
amazing.
Look.
Right.
Look.
And then I show up and there's no Bichon Fest. There's just a van and people with machetes, and I have
Run, Murphy,
it.
run.
Yeah. No, Murphy probably licks them.
Oh.
Bring him a toy.
Murphy a treat. You guys are ride or die now.
Yeah.
Murphy's
So
funny, man.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying is it starts off with something pretty and cute and fun and interesting, and then that's
I
how
love
people...
how I feel after I watch this movie. I just have this sense of dread, and like my place in the world is all off. Like I felt the same way watching the Truman Show. I get the willies after I watch that, even though it's not a horror film. Just because what if your whole life is a lie? And what if all of the people you think you know really aren't the people you think you know?
Oh yeah.
I accuse my girlfriend all the time of being a succubus in disguise. Like, you're actually trying to swallow my soul, aren't you? And she fucks with me. I'm like, don't fuck with me.
Well, when Slink and I got together, he literally thought someone had hired me to be.
But it reminds me too of
Message
like
me,
the
man,
thing.
and I would read the message and I'd be like, she can't be fucking real. Like, she can't be fucking real, man. Like, she is a plant from I don't know where, and I don't know.
They're just out of our fucking league. It makes zero sense. But
That's what I say to her all the time.
I'll take it.
It's a different sport.
This is me cheering. This is me cheersing to your girlfriend.
She's giggling in the background. So yeah, I was about to mention The Thing, which brings up similar feelings of
dread,
off, and distrust of people you think you know. I get kind of the same feeling after that. Like, what if I had to be around people and they're not really people? Like,
I'm okay. I'm better now.
It's a little bit of uncanny valley. Something's not quite a person.
I'm not letting Blair in here. What are you, crazy? Like, no.
Well, any final thoughts on Invasion of the Body Snatchers 1978?
I like I said, absolutely love this movie. I'm kind of probably I'm gearing towards picking up more physical media, just because every time I get like excited about something and then I check streaming and I'm like, well, it was there last week, it's like it's gone.
I shake my fist at the TV all the time.
Exactly. So I think this will be something that I seek out and watch directorial commentary on and totally nerd out on. I believe this is something that I want to know everything about, and so that's the first.
Yeah, I would unironically say it's in my top 5 of the 70s for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. Well, no, it's a great movie. I wish I had seen it a long time ago. I'm glad I was raised on the one from the 60s, because my mom and I used to watch it a lot, and I've seen it a lot. That's why it was neat when he runs out, because I'm like, oh, that's great. And then I watched The Thing from Another World all the time as a kid, and then I've read that book. A lot of people can't say that, but I have. And so it's real similar. I love stories like that. Paranoia, you don't know if you can trust anybody. Where you been, childs? Go get the flamethrower. That kind of shit. I love that. And what she said to, mention or touch on what she said before, it's cool because it's in a city. There's people everywhere, but it doesn't feel like there's people anywhere. You feel like very isolated and stuff.
Yeah.
So you feel a lot of stuff watching this flick, and it's more relevant now than I think it was when it was made. So, yeah, right on. It's a great flick, man. So owe it to yourself to check it out. Absolutely.
Definitely all of us highly recommend this film. 4 out of 5 stars. All 3 of us agree.
Yay!
Instant 70s horror classic, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978, starring Donald Sutherland. And a bunch of other awesome people. Jeff Goldblum, for crying out loud. So next week we are going to do Halloween 3. I forget who directed it, but it's John. I know John Carpenter did the
Tommy
soundtrack.
Lee Wallace.
Okay.
not gonna toot our own horn, but I think between the two of us, we know a lot of shit.
Shit about Halloween 3.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to watch like some
Halloween
extras
awesome.
about
Fuck
it
them
then.
kids.
Yeah.
Straight up.
But-
Do my homework.
But that's fantastic. What a great like choice, you know what I mean? Because it is also uncomfortable, ends on a down note, is a very just like, oh my god kind of movie. Originally had a much more horrifying ending. So yeah, it's mwah, chef's
Yeah, I
kiss. We
can't
love
wait. It's definitely what we're all about here at the Scared Shitless podcast. An actually scary film. So
Mhm.
Yeah, that movie's terrifying too.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ, man. It scared me when I was a kid. So
Nope.
absolutely.
same.
Still uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All right. So tune in next week, peeps. Until then, stay shitless.